Don't pay the $40 diagnostic fee. Use this $1 formula to fix 80% of battery failures. The $40 diagnostic trap. Picture this. It's a cold Monday morning and you're already running late for work. You rush to your car, turn the key, and nothing happens. Not even a click, just silence. Your heart sinks because you know what's coming next. You call a tow truck, wait an hour, and finally arrive at the auto shop. The mechanic takes one look, connects a device to your battery, and within 2 minutes, delivers the verdict. Your battery is dead. But here's the kicker. Before he even tells you what's wrong, he charges you a diagnostic fee. $20 to $40 just to hear bad news you already suspected. Then comes the upsell. He walks over with a price sheet and tells you that you need a brand new battery. The cost? Anywhere from $200 to $300, depending on the brand. You feel trapped. You need your car. You have no choice. So you pay. You drive away feeling frustrated, but you tell yourself it's just part of owning a vehicle. Except it's not. What if I told you that 80% of batteries declared dead by mechanics can actually be restored? Not replaced. Restored, for less than the cost of a coffee. This isn't some fringe theory or internet myth. This is science that's been deliberately hidden from you. There's an entire industry built on making sure you never learn this. We're talking about a $14.2 billion industry that thrives on one simple belief, that when something stops working, you throw it away and buy a new one. They've conditioned us to think that batteries are disposable, that once they die, they're gone forever. But the truth is, most batteries don't die. They fall asleep. And waking them up requires nothing more than a substance you already have, sitting in your kitchen cupboard. Something that costs about $1. The mechanics know this. The manufacturers know this. But they'll never tell you. Because if you knew how easy it was to bring a dead battery back to life, their entire business model would collapse. Every year, millions of people are walking into auto shops, handing over hundreds of dollars for new batteries, when all they really needed was $5 worth of materials and 30 minutes of their time. It's not ignorance, it's orchestrated. And it's been going on for decades. You see, the replacement model isn't just profitable. It's psychological. It makes you feel dependent. It makes you feel like you need an expert to solve a problem that you could fix yourself. And the longer this cycle continues, the more powerful it becomes. Entire supply chains are built around it. Entire corporations depend on it. So when someone like me comes along and tells you there's another way, it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. It's just inconvenient for the people selling you new batteries every 3 years. So before you head back to that mechanic, before you pull out your credit card again, ask yourself this. What if the problem isn't that your battery is broken? What if the problem is that no one ever taught you how to fix it? What if the real issue is that an entire industry profits from your ignorance? And what if the solution has been hiding in plain sight this whole time, written out of manuals, buried in old research papers and kept away from the public because it's just too cheap and too effective? That's exactly what happened, and that's exactly what we're about to uncover. This isn't just about saving money, it's about taking back control. It's about refusing to be part of a system that treats you like a walking wallet. It's about learning a skill that your grandfather knew, that his grandfather knew, and that somehow got erased from modern knowledge. Because once upon a time, people didn't throw things away the moment they stopped working. They fixed them. They maintained them. They understood them. And in doing so, they saved thousands of dollars over a lifetime. But that knowledge didn't disappear by accident. It was removed, strategically, quietly, so that you would keep buying, keep replacing, keep feeding the machine. Well, not anymore. In the next few minutes, you're going to learn something that the auto industry doesn't want you to know. Something so simple, so obvious, that you'll wonder why no one ever told you before. And once you see it, you'll never look at a dead battery the same way again. The ghost of 1859. To understand why your battery can be saved, we need to go back in time, all the way to 1859. A French physicist named Gaston Planté was working in his lab when he made a discovery that would change the world. He created the first rechargeable lead-acid battery. It was crude, heavy, and inefficient by today's standards, but the chemistry he unlocked that day is the exact same chemistry sitting under the hood of your car right now. More than 160 years later, we're still using his design. That's how good it was. But here's what they don't tell you. Planté didn't just invent the battery, he also documented how to maintain it, how to restore it, how to bring it back from the dead, because back then, materials were expensive and labor was cheap. You didn't throw things away, you fixed them. And the process he described for restoring a weakened battery was simple, effective, and widely known. For over a century, this knowledge was passed down. It was in technical manuals. It was taught in trade schools. It was common sense. So what happened? Why did this knowledge disappear? The answer lies in what's happening inside your battery right now. Every time you start your car, a chemical reaction occurs. Lead plates inside the battery react with sulfuric acid to produce electricity. It's a beautiful reversible process. When you recharge the battery, that reaction reverses, and everything goes back to how it was. But here's the problem. Over time, some of that sulfuric acid doesn't reverse completely. Instead, it forms into hard crystals called lead sulfate. These crystals stick to the lead plates like barnacles on a ship. At first, it's not a big deal. A few crystals here and there won't hurt. But as months and years go by, those crystals build up. They cover more and more of the plate surface. And the more they cover, the less area is available for the chemical reaction to happen. Your battery starts to weaken. It holds less charge. It struggles to start your car on cold mornings. Eventually, it can't hold a charge at all. The mechanic tests it, sees low voltage, and declares it dead. But it's not dead. It's suffocated, buried under a layer of sulfate crystals that can be dissolved. This process is called sulfation. And it's the number one reason batteries fail. Not because the lead plates are damaged, not because the acid has evaporated, but because of a buildup that can be chemically reversed. The industry knows this. In fact, up until 1965, maintenance and recovery procedures were still being printed in automotive manuals. Mechanics were taught how to desulfate batteries as part of their basic training. But then something changed. The post-war economic boom was in full swing. Consumerism was taking over. Companies realized that repair culture was bad for business. If people kept fixing their old products, they wouldn't buy new ones. So a shift began. Maintenance sections started disappearing from manuals. Repair guides were replaced with replacement guides. The message became clear. Don't fix it. Replace it. And an entire generation grew up never learning that batteries could be restored. It wasn't an accident. It was a calculated move to increase sales and build an economy based on disposability. By the 1970s, the knowledge was almost entirely gone from public view. Mechanics stopped learning it. Consumers never heard about it. And the few people who still knew how to desulfate a battery were seen as old-fashioned or out of touch. The industry had successfully rewritten the narrative. Batteries became consumables. Use them until they die, then buy a new one. No questions asked. And anyone who suggested otherwise was ignored. But the science didn't change. Lead sulfate crystals are still just lead sulfate crystals. The chemistry that Planté discovered is still the same. And the solution to sulfation has always been the same. You need an alkaline substance to raise the pH inside the battery. When you do that, the lead sulfate reacts and transforms into lead carbonate, which dissolves back into the electrolyte. The plates are cleaned. The battery is restored. It's not magic. It's chemistry. High school level chemistry. But it's chemistry that's been buried under decades of marketing and corporate profit motives. Here's the part that should make you angry. This isn't some obscure secret hidden in a classified government lab. This is information that was openly available for 100 years. Your great-grandfather probably knew this. He probably restored batteries in his garage on Sunday afternoons. He probably got 10, 15, even 20 years out of a single battery because he took care of it. But somewhere along the way, that wisdom was lost. Not because it stopped working, but because it stopped making money for the right people. The psychological impact of this is profound. We've been conditioned to believe that we're not capable of fixing things, that we need experts, that technology is too complicated for the average person to understand. But restoring a battery isn't complicated. It doesn't require special tools or advanced degrees. It requires basic materials and a willingness to try. And the fact that this has been kept from you, deliberately and systematically, should tell you everything you need to know about how the system really works. So the next time someone tells you that your battery is dead and needs to be replaced, remember Gaston Planté. Remember the chemistry. Remember that for over a century, people restored batteries as a matter of routine, and ask yourself why you were never taught to do the same. The Cincinnati Protocol. In 1987, something remarkable happened in Cincinnati, Ohio. A fleet manager for a city transportation department was facing a budget crisis. He was spending tens of thousands of dollars every year replacing batteries in city vehicles. Trucks, buses, maintenance cars. The costs were spiraling out of control. So he did something unusual. Instead of just accepting the industry standard of replacing dead batteries every 2 to 3 years, he started asking questions. He wanted to know if there was a better way. What he discovered would eventually be buried, but not before he documented it in a detailed report. This fleet manager began experimenting with battery restoration. He used a simple alkaline solution to desulfate batteries that had been marked for disposal. Over the course of 3 years, he meticulously tracked the results. What he found was staggering. Batteries that were supposed to be dead were running again, not just for a few weeks, but for years. On average, he extended battery life by 340%. Let me say that again, 340%. That means a battery that should have lasted 3 years was now lasting over 10 years. The city saved a fortune. The report was filed, and then it disappeared. Why? Because if this information had gone public, it would have devastated the battery replacement industry. Imagine if every municipal fleet, every trucking company, every auto repair shop in the country started restoring batteries instead of replacing them Billions of dollars in annual sales would evaporate overnight. So the report was quietly shelved. It never made it into industry publications. It was never cited in trade journals. It simply vanished into the archives, accessible only to those who knew where to look. But the science behind it didn't vanish, and neither did the solution he used. That solution was sodium bicarbonate, baking soda. The same white powder sitting in your pantry right now, used for baking cookies and deodorizing your fridge. It costs about $1 for a box that can restore multiple batteries. There's no brand name, no patent, no corporate monopoly. It's a naturally occurring compound that anyone can buy at any grocery store. And that's exactly why the industry hates it. You can't build $1 billion empire on something that costs $1 and lasts for years. Here's how it works. Baking soda is alkaline. When you dissolve it in distilled water and introduce it into the battery cells, it raises the pH level of the electrolyte solution. Normal battery acid sits at a pH of around 1, which is extremely acidic. When you add the baking soda solution, you bring that pH up to around 8.3. In this new alkaline environment, a chemical reaction takes place. The lead sulfate crystals that have been choking your battery begin to break down. They convert into lead carbonate, which is soluble in the electrolyte. Once dissolved, the crystals are gone. The lead plates are clean, the surface area is restored, and the battery can hold a charge again. This is basic chemistry. It's the same principle used in antacid tablets to neutralize stomach acid. It's the reason you use baking soda to clean stubborn stains. It's not complicated. It's not dangerous when done correctly. It's just chemistry doing what chemistry does. But because it's so simple and so cheap, there's no incentive for any company to promote it. You can't patent a naturally occurring element. You can't trademark a process that's been known for over a century. So instead, the industry pretends it doesn't exist. Think about that for a moment. A solution that costs less than a cup of coffee can extend the life of a $300 battery by nearly a decade. But you've never seen a commercial for it. You've never seen it advertised at an auto parts store. Your mechanic has never mentioned it. Why? Because there's no profit in it. The profit is in selling you a new battery every 3 years. The profit is in the diagnostic fees, the installation charges, the warranties, and the endless cycle of replacement. If they taught you how to restore batteries, that cycle would break, and they can't let that happen. The Cincinnati study wasn't the only evidence either. Throughout the 20th century, there were dozens of smaller reports, independent mechanics, and hobbyists who documented similar results. Some of them published their findings in niche technical journals. Others shared their methods in community workshops or trade magazines. But none of it ever reached mainstream awareness, because mainstream awareness is controlled by advertising, and the companies buying those ads are the ones selling new batteries. They're not going to pay for a message that tells you to stop buying their product. There's also a psychological barrier at play here. We've been trained to distrust simple solutions. If something sounds too easy, we assume it's a scam. We think that real solutions must be expensive, complicated, or require expert intervention. This mindset benefits the industry. It keeps you dependent, it keeps you spending, and it keeps you from even trying something that might actually work. But the truth is, some of the best solutions in life are simple. Fire is simple, the wheel is simple, and restoring a battery with baking soda is simple. So why doesn't everyone know about this? Because knowledge is power, and ignorance is profit. As long as you don't know that your battery can be saved, you'll keep replacing it. You'll keep spending. You'll keep feeding a system designed to extract as much money from you as possible. But once you understand the chemistry, once you see the evidence, once you try it yourself and watch a dead battery come back to life, you can't unsee it. You become part of a different system, one where you're in control. The Cincinnati Protocol worked. The science is sound, the results are repeatable, and the solution is sitting in your kitchen right now. All that's left is for you to decide whether you're going to keep playing by their rules or start writing your own. The Sunday Ritual. Now that you know the science and the history, it's time to roll up your sleeves and actually do this. Restoring a battery isn't difficult, but it does require patience and attention to detail. This isn't something you rush through in 10 minutes. It's a process. Think of it as a Sunday morning project, something you do while the coffee brews and the world is still quiet. And before we dive into the steps, let's talk about what you'll need. The list is short and the cost is minimal. First, you'll need a multimeter. This is a simple device that measures voltage. You can pick one up at any hardware store for $10 to $15. If you don't have one already, it's worth the investment. You'll use it to check your battery's baseline voltage before you start and again after you finish. Second, you'll need distilled water, not tap water. This is critical. Tap water contains minerals and impurities that will contaminate your battery and make things worse. Distilled water is pure, it costs about $1 per gallon, and you can find it at any grocery store or pharmacy. Third, you'll need baking soda. A standard box from the baking aisle will do. And finally, you'll need a battery charger. Specifically, one that has a low amp setting around 2 amps. This is often called a trickle charger. If you already have a car battery charger, check if it has a low or slow charge mode. If not, you can buy a basic trickle charger for around $20 to $30. Once you have these items, you're ready. But before you touch the battery, let's talk about safety. Car batteries contain sulfuric acid. It's diluted, but it's still corrosive. If it gets on your skin, it will burn. If it gets in your eyes, it can cause serious damage. So wear gloves, wear safety glasses, and work in a well-ventilated area, preferably outdoors or in an open garage. When a battery is being charged, it releases hydrogen gas. Hydrogen is highly flammable. That means no smoking, no open flames, and no sparks near the battery while it's charging. This isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to keep you safe. Thousands of people restore batteries every year without incident, but only because they take these precautions seriously. Now, let's walk through the process step by step. Step 1. Test the battery. Connect your multimeter to the battery terminals. Red to positive, black to negative. Check the voltage. A healthy, fully charged 12-volt battery should read around 12.6 volts. If your battery is reading 10 volts or lower, it's heavily sulfated and a perfect candidate for restoration. Write down this number. It's your baseline. You'll compare it later to see how much improvement you've made. Step 2. Remove the battery from the vehicle if possible. This makes the process easier and safer. If you can't remove it, make sure the vehicle is off, the keys are out of the ignition, and you're working in a ventilated space. Step 3. Locate the cell caps on top of the battery. Most batteries have 6 caps, 1 for each cell. Some newer batteries are sealed, and if that's the case, this method won't work. But most traditional lead-acid batteries have removable caps. Carefully twist or pry them off and set them aside. Step 4. Look inside the cells. You'll see liquid. That's the electrolyte, a mix of sulfuric acid and water. Check the level. If it's low, you'll need to top it off, but not yet. First, we're going to prepare the solution. Step 5. Mix your baking soda solution. Take a clean container and add 1 tablespoon of baking soda for every cup of distilled water. Stir it until the baking soda is completely dissolved. The solution should be clear. You'll need enough to fill each cell, so prepare about half a liter to start. You can always make more if needed. Step 6. Slowly pour the baking soda solution into each cell. Fill them until the liquid level reaches the bottom of the fill neck. Don't overfill. You'll notice some fizzing or bubbling. That's normal. It's the alkaline solution reacting with the acid. Let it settle for a minute, then replace the caps loosely. Don't tighten them all the way. You want gas to escape during charging. Step 7. Connect your battery charger. Set it to the lowest amp setting, usually 2 amps. Connect the positive clamp to the positive terminal and the negative clamp to the negative terminal. Double check your connections, then turn on the charger. Step 8. Let the battery charge for 4 to 6 hours. The slow charge allows the chemical reaction to happen gradually. The baking soda is breaking down the sulfate crystals while the charge is reconditioning the plates. Don't rush this. Fast charging will heat the battery and can cause damage. Slow and steady wins here. While it's charging, check on it periodically. The battery may get warm, but it shouldn't get hot. If it does, turn off the charger and let it cool down before continuing. Step 9. After the initial charge, turn off the charger and disconnect it. Now comes the critical step that most people skip. Let the battery rest. Don't touch it. Don't test it. Just let it sit for at least 4 hours, preferably overnight. This rest period allows the chemistry to stabilize. The lead carbonate needs time to fully dissolve back into the electrolyte. If you skip this step, your results will be disappointing. Patience here makes all the difference. Step 10. After the rest period, reconnect your multimeter and check the voltage again. If you started at 10 volts, you should now be seeing 12.4 to 12.6 volts. That's a full recovery. If the voltage has improved but isn't quite there yet, repeat the process. Add a bit more solution, charge again, and rest again. Some heavily sulfated batteries need 2 or 3 cycles to fully recover, but most will come back to life after just 1 treatment. Once your battery is restored, reinstall it in your vehicle. Start the car. Listen to that engine turn over smoothly. You just saved yourself $200 to $300 using materials that cost less than $5. But here's the thing. This isn't a one-time fix. To keep your battery healthy for years to come, you need to maintain it. Once a month, check the water levels in the cells. If they're low, top them off with distilled water. Every 3 months, add a small amount of baking soda solution, about a tablespoon per cell, and give it a slow charge. This prevents sulfation from building up again. Do this, and your battery can last 8 to 10 years, maybe longer. That's the same lifespan batteries used to have before planned obsolescence became the norm. Your grandfather's battery lasted that long because he maintained it. He didn't wait for it to die. He treated it like a tool that needed care. And now you can do the same. Reclaiming the vault? Let's talk about what just happened. You took a battery that a mechanic would have charged you $40 just to tell you was dead. A battery they would have insisted you replace for $200 to $300. And you brought it back to life for less than $5. You didn't need a degree in chemistry. You didn't need expensive equipment. You just needed the knowledge that's been hidden from you for decades. And now that you have it, everything changes. Check your multimeter one more time. That reading of 12.6 volts isn't just a number, it's proof. Proof that you were lied to, proof that the system depends on your ignorance, proof that a simple solution was buried because it wasn't profitable. But more than that, it's proof that you're capable. You just performed a repair that the entire auto industry insists is impossible. You beat a $14 billion machine with baking soda and patience. Let that sink in. Now imagine what happens if you keep going, if you make this a habit. Once a month, you pop the hood, check the cells, top off the water, and add a small amount of baking soda solution. Just 1 tablespoon per cell dissolved in distilled water. Then you give it a slow 2 amp charge for a couple of hours. That's it. 15 minutes of work. Maybe 20 if you're being thorough. Do that consistently, and your battery won't just last 3 years. It'll last 8 years, 10 years, maybe even longer. This is exactly what your grandfather did. He didn't have a garage full of new batteries waiting to be installed. He had one battery that he took care of. He understood that maintenance was cheaper than replacement. He knew that a little effort today saved a lot of money tomorrow. And his battery didn't die after 36 months like clockwork. It kept going, year after year, because he didn't let sulfation build up. He prevented it. He treated his battery like an investment, not a disposable product. But somewhere between his generation and yours, that knowledge disappeared. It wasn't lost by accident. It was erased. Manuals were rewritten. Repair sections were removed. Maintenance became a dirty word. The new philosophy was simple. Use it until it breaks, then throw it away and buy another one. This wasn't progress. It was programming. And it worked. Entire generations grew up never questioning it, never wondering if there was another way, never realizing that the skills their grandparents had were deliberately kept from them. Think about the financial impact of this over a lifetime. The average person owns a car for 10 to 15 years. In that time, under the current replacement model, you'll buy 4 to 5 batteries. At $300 each, that's $1,200 to $1,500 spent on batteries alone. But if you restore and maintain, you'll buy 1 battery and keep it alive for the entire lifespan of the vehicle. You just saved over $1,000, and that's just 1 car. If you have multiple vehicles, a boat, a motorcycle, a riding lawnmower, the savings multiply. Now expand that thinking beyond just you. What if you taught this to your family, your friends, your neighbors? What if every person who learned this passed it on to 5 others? Suddenly, you're not just saving your own money, you're creating a ripple effect. You're taking power away from an industry that's been exploiting people for generations. You're rebuilding a culture of repair and self-sufficiency that was intentionally destroyed, and that terrifies the corporations who profit from your dependence. This is why they call it the Forbidden Vault. Not because the information is illegal, but because it's dangerous to their bottom line. Every person who learns to restore a battery is a customer they've lost. Every share of this knowledge is a crack in their system. Every dollar you save is a dollar that doesn't flow into their revenue stream. And if enough people wake up to this, the entire model collapses. That's the real power here. Not just personal savings, but collective resistance. You've already taken the first step. You've learned the science. You've seen the evidence. You've done the work. But knowledge without action is just trivia. The question now is, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to keep this to yourself, quietly saving money while everyone around you keeps getting ripped off? Or are you going to share it? Are you going to be the person who breaks the cycle in your community? The one who teaches others that they don't have to be victims of a system designed to exploit them? Here's what I want you to do. The next time someone complains about their dead battery, don't just nod sympathetically. Tell them what you know. Show them this process. Walk them through it if you have to. Give them the gift that was stolen from all of us. The gift of knowledge. The gift of independence. The gift of knowing that you don't need permission from a corporation to fix something you own. That's the legacy your grandfather left behind. And it's the legacy you can pass forward. But it goes deeper than batteries. This is about a mindset. Once you realize that you've been lied to about something this simple, you start questioning everything else. What else have they told you can't be fixed? What else have they convinced you to replace instead of repair? How many other products are designed to fail just outside of warranty so you'll buy the next model? This battery restoration is a gateway. It opens your eyes to a much larger truth. That we live in a throwaway culture by design, not by necessity. Reclaiming the vault means reclaiming your power. It means refusing to play by rules that were written to keep you dependent and broke. It means resurrecting skills that your ancestors took for granted. It means looking at a broken thing and seeing potential instead of garbage. And it means understanding that the most revolutionary act you can commit in a consumer economy is to stop consuming unnecessarily. So here's my challenge to you. Restore your battery. Maintain it. Watch it outlive every prediction the industry made. Then teach someone else. Share this knowledge like it's contraband, because to the corporations, it is. Every person you teach is a victory. Every battery you save is an act of rebellion. And every dollar you keep in your pocket is a vote against a system that's been rigging the game for far too long. Your grandfather knew this. His tools lasted decades because he took care of them. His vehicles ran longer because he maintained them. He wasn't smarter than you. He just had access to knowledge that was later hidden. Now you have that knowledge too. The vault is open. The secret is out. And nothing they do can put it back. The only question left is whether you'll use it. Whether you'll join the quiet revolution of people who refuse to be told that simple problems require expensive solutions. I think you will. Because you made it this far. And that tells me everything I need to know. Welcome to the vault. Now go reclaim what's yours.